Hi everyone, I hope that you all are doing well. I'm doing great. I'm here to do my first trimester recap. As I told you guys a few weeks ago, I am expecting. Currently, I am 24 weeks, I'll actually be 25 weeks pregnant tomorrow. Yeah, so I'm 6 months well into the pregnancy at this point, but I just wanted to give you guys a recap of I guess what I experienced so far in my pregnancy. So initially I found out I was pregnant on August the 1st, 2012, and I ended up taking the test after my period was late, probably like 5 or 6 days late, and I took it on a Wednesday. August the 1st is a Wednesday. And my plan was to wait until that Friday to take the test. But that's all I could think about. I was like, oh my God, I had to take this. I can't wait to take this test. I had to take this test now. So I ended up taking the test. It was positive. Yeah. Big surprise. Definitely a big surprise. I was not expecting that. I wasn't planning on having a baby or getting pregnant right now. So it was just like, oh my God, what? So the first person that I told was my boyfriend, and his reaction was a lot different than mine. He was like, oh, he was excited. Versus me, who was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do now? What am I supposed to do with the baby? So, two completely different reactions. I don't know, it was just a shock for me. It's not that I didn't want kids, I just that I didn't want them right now. So, but anyway, so that's how I initially found out. And I like immediately made a doctor's appointment, and I was thinking that they were gonna wait to see me till I was like 8, 9 weeks, but I actually had my first doctor's appointment when I was 5 weeks pregnant. So at 5 weeks pregnant, went into the doctor. They confirmed my pregnancy with a ultrasound, but it wasn't the kind that you put on your stomach. They actually had to insert this thing and do it that way, I guess, because I'm, so newly pregnant. I was so newly pregnant at the time. So they did that. They confirmed my pregnancy, gave me a due date of April the 6th, 2013. So that is my due date. And also at the time of during that visit, when I was 5 weeks at the time, they discovered that I had a subchorionic hematoma on my uterus, which basically is bleeding on the uterus. So it was a spot on my uterus that was bleeding at that time. Yeah, so I was kind of like, okay, what's that? The doctor really didn't explain it that well to me. Like, I didn't really know what it was. So basically I went and did my own research, and I found out what it was. And after reading about it, I like freaked myself out. And then I was scared, and then I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have a miscarriage, and like all types of things were running through my head. So I was scared. But yes, so that was my first doctor's appointment. Now at that point I hadn't told anyone. The only person that knew I was pregnant was my boyfriend and my best friend. I told those two people, but nobody else. I didn't tell anybody else at that point. I just wanted to wait for a while, I guess, before I told anyone. So no symptom, like everything was fine until I was about 7 weeks, and then that's when, like, I guess the symptoms kind of kicked in. First symptoms I experienced was I was tired. I was tired from the beginning, but the thing is, with me being tired, I work 2 jobs, which I mentioned before. I work 2 jobs. I have a full-time job, I have a part-time job. So I work 70 hours a week. So I'm always tired anyway because, you know, I'm working all the time and I'm driving all the time, and then I want to do stuff, you know, so I'm constantly going, so I'm tired anyway. So I don't even know that me being tired was associated with the pregnancy, but I guess I was a little more tired than usual. Okay. So, yeah, so me being more tired than usual was my first symptom. Next, I would say about 7-8 weeks is when the nausea kicked in, and it was really bad. The thing is, I still to this day have not thrown up from being pregnant, but I've wanted to. I was extremely nauseated, like the whole first trimester. Like, it was just really bad, like really bad. I did lose weight in the very beginning. Not a lot of weight, probably like 4 or 5 pounds, but I did lose weight because I wasn't eating. I was eating, but I wasn't eating on like a regular basis because everything just made me feel sick. I gagged several times. Like, I actually went to the bathroom and, you know, like, I guess dry heaved or something, but nothing would ever come up. So I did that the whole first trimester, but nothing would actually come up. But it was terrible. Like, the nausea was awful. And then the prenatal pills made it 20 times worse. When I first started, started taking the prenatal pills right away. And just the over-the-counter, you know, the big yucky ones you get from CVS or whatever. I started taking those, and those things made me even more nauseous. Like, probably like 10 to 15 minutes after I took a prenatal pill, like, I would feel like I wanted to vomit it back up, pretty much. So I ended up switching to the prenatal gummies, which help somewhat, but even to this day, the prenatal gummies don't help that much because I have to, if I don't eat with them, like, as soon as I take them, I have to eat something. I have to put something on my stomach, or it'll make me feel nauseous. So I just kind of learned that. So I am still taking the prenatal gummies, but I have to eat something immediately after taking them. Let's see, what else? Another thing was I was extremely moody, I would say, during the first trimester. Still kind of moody, but it was really bad the first trimester. Just extreme wave of emotions, highs, lows, a lot of lows, I would say. Borderline, like, depressed, kind of. Just because, like, I don't know, like, for me it was like, well, oh my god, I'm having a baby, what am I gonna do? I'm not ready for this right now. Life is changing. It was just like a whole bunch of different thoughts running through my head. So I was like, I was not that excited for the first trimester, I would say. I guess towards like the end of the trimester, like, things changed, you know, my feelings kind of, you know, changed, and, you know, all of that. But like, initially, this whole pregnancy thing was not where it was at for me. I was not excited at all. Yeah, so I would say an extreme wave of emotions. Let's see, what else? Headaches. I have been getting headaches. Even still, I still get headaches. Probably get like a migraine like once a week, I swear. But they've been kind of bad too. Like, they're migraines. I mean, like my head just pounds, and then they make me feel sick too. Like, because I don't know, my head hurts so bad. Like, I feel nauseous. I don't know. It's weird. So headaches. Also, during the first trimester, I was extremely thirsty. Like I felt like I had cotton mouth. Like I just could not get enough to drink. Now initially I was drinking a lot of ginger ale because I was hoping that that would settle my stomach, which it really didn't, but for like a month, like that was all I drank was ginger ale. Yeah. Right now I can't drink, I don't even want ginger ale right now, but my thing is water. Like all I drink now is water, pretty much water or juice, but mostly water. But yeah, during the first trimester, all I wanted, or the beginning of the first trimester, all I wanted was ginger ale. I would buy like cases and cartons of ginger ale, and that's all we were drinking was ginger ale. Yeah. So I think that's all for the symptoms as far as symptoms during the first trimester. I did go on vacation while I was in my first trimester. I actually went to Mexico. Yeah, I went to Mexico for like 5-6 days. Which, I mean, you know, that was cool. But it was like, I really couldn't have a good time because I was pregnant. It was, I mean, we went to Cabo San Lucas, so it was like there was drinking everywhere. I couldn't drink, so there was bars on every corner. Drinks were like, they were super cheap, but I'm just sitting in the bar, you know, sipping on some water while everybody else is, you know, around me getting drunk. So that was not that exciting. Like how, I don't know. And then like certain activities I couldn't do because I was pregnant. I couldn't I don't know, like anything that I wanted to do, there was like certain restrictions, like, oh, pregnant, not recommended for pregnant people. If you're pregnant, don't do this. So I mean, I still had a good time, but it was a lot of things that I couldn't do because I was pregnant. So that was not that great. But let's see, what else happened during the first trimester. During the first trimester, I mentioned the first sonogram, but I actually had 3 sonograms altogether during my first trimester. The initial one where they confirmed the pregnancy. Then I actually had another sonogram when I was 7 weeks because I had to go back to the doctor because what did I go back for that time? I went back to the doctor because I was having, I had like discharge. I know, right? TMI, but I was having discharge, and so they wanted to bring me in just, I guess, to make sure that everything was okay. And then so they ended up doing a sonogram. So I had another one then, and then I ended up having another one when I was 4 weeks later, when I was 11 weeks, just so they could see what was going on with the subchorionic hematoma, which actually at 11 weeks had resolved itself. So that was good. So as of 11 weeks, like everything was okay with my uterus, no more bleeding on the uterus, but at that time they discovered that my placenta was low. So one thing was gone, but then I had to deal with the low placenta, which now is actually gone as well, but at that time my placenta was really low. So yeah, that's pretty much the recap of my first trimester.